668 Sold Not For Sale podcast. Now, we got Jimmy Carr. Jimmy Carr, again, very deep conversation. And the question that I would ask you, that I'm asking myself after listening to this clip a few times, is, what do you think America will become? The empire that is America, what do you think it will become? They're talking about empires rising and empires falling and what they become afterwards. What do you think the empire of America will become? And then it goes into a little bit of a different conversation of, do you really appreciate where you're at? I have a lot of people who listen all over the world, but, mainly American. I'm an American channel. Do you really appreciate where you're at? Do you really appreciate where you are, what you can do, the freedoms that you have? As you listen to this clip, you're going to hear about America through the eyes of someone who's not born in America. Jimmy Carr. He's from the UK. And I want you to listen close. So let's get into that. Let's go.
Case, we know it works. I mean, Lisbon now. Have you been to Lisbon?
No.
You should go to Lisbon.
Yeah?
Food is, I mean, the Portuguese. It's fabulous. Such a great city. Such a great city. Lisbon and Porto. I mean, I don't really know the rest of Portugal that well, but they're both phenomenal places to play gigs, and they love stand-up comedy. It's just a wonderful place.
Isn't it crazy that little country was like conquering the world at one point in time?
Sorry, I'm from Great Britain. Hi.
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 Yeah, you guys did too.
We had a great run.
It wasn't bad.
I tell you what, we used to own this.
Sort of.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
It is crazy. It's crazy how empires rise and fall, and that's one of the things that people are wondering currently about America. If we're in the last throes of a dying empire.
Well, I got a hot take on this.
Please.
I don't think they do. So I don't think the Roman Empire fell. I think it became a church. I think the Rome fell, but the Roman Empire became the church. Where's all the money from the Roman Empire?
The Vatican.
In the basement of the Vatican is where it is. Yeah. That's. I don't think the
Have
British.
you been?
The Vatican.
Yeah. Phew.
It's incredible.
Bizarre.
It's incredible. It's a city within a city.
The wealth, the sheer wealth in art is overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like St. Peter's Basilica, when I walked in there, my mouth was open the entire time I was there. Like, you just can't believe the amount of craftsmanship, the architecture, the art, the painting.
Well, I mean, if you think about culturally what happened, every song, every painting was about God. Until 100 years ago. And now, every song's about love. I think they're talking about the same thing, but that's me being an old hippie. So, Roman Empire became a church. British Empire became a bank.
Ooh.
So we gave our empire back. We said, oh yeah, sorry about that. You can have that back. We gave, Saudi Arabia back and all these other places that we'd sort of, we'd taken the resources. And then they had their own money. And then we went, oh, well, what are you doing with that money? Because we've got this thing called the City of London. I tell you what, it's your money, but we're going to hold it. We'll have it over here. Is that okay? Yeah, fine, great. So we've still got that thing of like, and culturally, I think, America's extraordinary. It's an extraordinary place. It's kind of based on this amazing premise. It strikes me that America is, it's better now, objectively, than it has ever been, and subjectively, worse than it's ever been. So you go, the experience, it seems bad, but objectively, when you look at the metrics, it's good. So that's kind of Steven Pinker thing. But I mean, subjectivity is important. Like people feel like they're at war, and actually, this is the land of milk and honey. And I think it's still got a bit of that thing of like Austin, Texas maybe has it as much as anywhere. It's whispering, go and be yourself.
Yeah.
The pursuit of happiness.
Yeah.
It's still got that kind of, that dream.
Well, I'm always fascinated how people from other parts of the world see it. That's what's interesting. When someone comes here and they just like look around. Like I had the trigonometry guys here the other day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Francis and in Constantine. And when we were here and we were coming to the club, they were like, mate, this place is incredible. Like the freedom that you guys have and the wildness that's in the air. Like it's so intoxicating and exciting. Like this is something's really happening here.
Well, it's a beacon. It's always been a bit of a beacon, America, because it's kind of founded on an idea. And, the devil's in the detail. Well, I always think of the Statue of Liberty. You ever seen, there's a thing in Paris, in the Musée d'Orsay. There's the model. They made a model of because it was crowdfunded, the Statue of Liberty. It was a gift from the people of France to the people of America, right? Kind of post-revolution. They thought, well, that's a good idea. Yeah, we'll get them something nice. We'll get them a nice statue. So they funded it. The French people gave money. And the thing, when you see the model of the Statue of Liberty, you realize she's not just carrying a torch. She's walking forward. You realize she's moving forward. And it kind of changes it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's there'll be, I think there's potential for, I think America hasn't seen its finest days yet. I would hope.
I would hope as well.
Britain has to find a new place in the world. But, Brexit and everything happened. We need to find, its purpose. Like, I think with people, with nations, with the world, it's like finding purpose is very important.
Yeah.
And what's the next, purpose going to be? How are we going to fit in? What's our place going to be?
Yeah. Let's end there.
That is a good way to end. And that's, and now that you've listened to the clip, you understand why I'm asking if you really appreciate where you are, because there's a reason, sadly, that so many people are running in. We all have the theories that some of them are military age, and why is that, and how are all these young guys coming over with no wives or children or anything like that. But there's a lot of them are coming in because they can still see it. They can still see the beacon. They can still hear the whisper of freedom, liberty, getting to be themselves. They can still hear it. They can still see it. It's still there. And it's just one of those things where I grew up around a lot of poor people, and then you could go like down the street 5 minutes and the houses were big, and then you went down the street like another 5 minutes and the houses were massive. And every now and then you'd be friends with a kid and you figure out he has one of the massive houses. And that kid would walk into that house like it was nothing. He'd be like, "Well, what's the big deal?" He was so used to it. It's always been like this. It wasn't like they lived in a shack and then the mansion. He's always been in the mansion. So it was like nothing to him. There's always been 3 cars. There's always been a bunch of amenities and all these things. I always get allowance. I always got money. I always got clothes. I don't know. What's the big deal? And I feel like sometimes a lot of people in America get that way. They kind of feel like, that's dead. Constitution's dead. It's not a democracy. It's a republic. All this stuff. And to me, it seems really taking it for granted. You want to go to a place that really doesn't have a democracy? You really want to go to a place like that? No, you don't. You don't want to be there. It would disgust you, Going to go to a place where real freedom of speech is gone? Oh, but I saw somebody, they got in trouble the other day for a tweet or something. No. I'm talking about you go to jail or you disappear. And your family just wonders what happens to you. Those places exist. You don't want to go there. You want to live there. I just feel like, when it comes to the question of what does America become? If the empire of it all, ends up going away, what does it become then? I think that's what it becomes. I think it stays a beacon of freedom of speech, a beacon of liberty, a beacon of a place you come to when you want real opportunity, when you really want to become something, not just in your neighborhood, but on the world stage. I think it continues to become that even more so than it is now. You know? I think that's what it becomes. Because we're definitely not going to lose it. We're not going to let that go. There's people who are really willing to not let that go. They're willing to step up for it. They're willing to lay down for it. You know? And like Jimmy Carr said, he said, it feels like you're at war, but it's really the place of milk and honey. And it's both. It's a place of milk and honey, and the reason that it feels like it's a war is because you have to war for that milk and honey. That milk and honey wasn't just there. It wasn't installed in at the very beginning. You had to fight for it. So it's both. It's milk and honey and it's war. But that's what I think America becomes. Let me know in the comments what you think America becomes. If the Roman Church, I really like that he said that. If the Roman Empire became a church, British Empire became a bank, what does the American Empire become? Let me know in the comments. If you haven't liked it already, like the video. It's right down there. It costs nothing to like. Just hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. That also doesn't cost anything. That's right. It's a sale. You can like and subscribe absolutely free on me. No problem. No problem. Thank me later. And other than that, I am out.